Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to take a look at the new Marvel Legends Infinite Series Age of Ultron Incredible Hulk figure. This figure is part of the second wave of Avengers Legends from Hasbro, and it comes packaged in the same style of packaging we've seen with the other figures in this line. And you've got the figure clearly displayed in the window box packaging. Because it's a movie figure, we have the Avengers Age of Ultron logo up at the top. Tells us it's got the Thanos Build-A-Figure piece and the Marvel Legends Infinite Series logo at the bottom. You've got nice little artwork for Hulk on the side, and then on the back you've got a picture of the figure, a little brief bio, and then a look at all the figures in this second wave. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now the only accessory this figure comes with is the Thanos Build-A-Figure piece, which is Thanos' right arm. And we'll look in more detail at that when we look at the actual Thanos figure in our next review. Hulk though, nice detail. I think this figure is a lot better than the Hulk movie figure they did for the first Avengers movie line, that Walmart exclusive line. Now I don't actually own that figure. I passed on it because I just really didn't like it. I didn't like the head sculpt and just was not a fan of that figure. But from what I've seen of that figure, I think the only thing this figure really shares, I think, is maybe the arms and maybe the feet. But everything else seems to be new. The midsection is new. The head sculpt is definitely new, and I much more prefer this facial expression and head sculpt that they've used for this figure. I like, this is actually one of the better Hulk head sculpts that I've seen on a Marvel Legends figure. So I really like this head sculpt that they've used in his facial expression that they've got. And even like the detail with like his teeth and everything on this figure I think is really nice. I mean, he's got the all basically black hair on this one. He's got, the six-pack abs. He's got some vein work on his arms that you can see. So just some nice detailing overall with this figure. But definitely I like this head sculpt, and I think it's a much better head sculpt than what we saw in that first Avengers movie Hulk figure. The pants on this figure, I like it. It's a dark purple, so it's kind of a throwback to Hulk's purple pants. And it's obviously his superhero kind of pants. I think these are supposed to kind of like shrink and grow as he turns into the Hulk in the movie. And they've got some design. They've got some maroon striping on it, and then on the back, which seems to be all the Avengers now have little A's on their costumes. So Hulk's got 2 A's, one on each leg. So that's nice little detailing there. And then he's just got some sculpt work on the pants and everything. So I think the legs on this, with the pants and everything, look good. Now, one thing I do want to note is he's got some, at least on my figure, and this could change with the final release version, but like where the joints are, they've basically got holes. You can't really see the little pegs for the joints, but you do see the holes, and the inside of the holes are not painted the same color as the pants, at least on the bottom set right here near his calf muscle. So you can see some kind of green there. Again, that may be fixed with the final version, but just something I want to point out. The actual pins inside are actually painted the same as the pants. It's just because they're so far in the figure you can't really see the pins themselves, and then they didn't paint the inside of the holes basically, so you can see green if you look in the holes. Nothing too major, but just wanted to point that out. Back of the figure, again, just some nice detailing on the skin and everything with the muscle work. Down to his feet, you can see he's got some veins on his feet and everything, and you can see his toenails, not really any kind of shading or anything. His toes are all nice and clean and all, but still for a 6-inch $20 figure, I think the detail is pretty nice with that. Okay, so this figure stands at just about 8 inches tall exactly. The scale for it seems to be pretty good with the other movie figures, Avengers movie figures. So here's the Thor figure from the first Avengers, and Hulk is taller as he should be. Now Thor may be a little bit on the short side but still for the most part I think it works pretty good. And then here he is next to the Mark 43 Iron Man figure from this wave, and again Hulk is taller as he should be. And then finally here he is next to Captain America from this wave. And just for one more comparison, here he is next to the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends Hulkbuster figure, and you can see he's definitely taller than the Hulkbuster. Now, just to give you some comparison, for that Hulkbuster figure, that's the Age of Ultron Hulkbuster figure that's going to be coming in the third wave of Avengers, I've taken a comparison. I had taken a shot of this Hulk figure with that Hulkbuster figure at Toy Fair last weekend. So here's a comparison of that image, and then comparison of the same Hulk figure with this Toy Biz Hulkbuster figure, and you can see how much bigger the new Hulkbuster figure is going to be, because it is actually taller than this Hulk figure, as it should be. Okay, so articulation on this figure is pretty good for the most part. The head's just on a ball joint, so he can look left and right, no problem. He has a little bit of down movement, not a whole lot, and really no up movement. So the arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints, so he can get his arms out all the way like that. And he's got pretty good rotation there. He's got the bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, and then he's got the swivel at the wrist. And he has a hinge there at the wrist, though he doesn't have a whole lot of up and down movement. More up with the wrist than down, with the way the arm is sculpted, and it kind of covers the wrist. He's got a midsection joint, so he's got rotation there. He's got some crunch, and he can look up. Though this joint looks kind of, when you have him looking up, you definitely see a large separation between the upper body and the lower body, so it can look a little funny. But good movement there at the midsection for the most part. No waist swivel, so he can do, if you turn, you can get him to do the splits good, and then he can get his leg forward pretty good, and then out and back for the most part. He's got a thigh swivel, and then he's got double jointed knees, so he's got good bending at the knees, and he does have ankle pivot. However, one thing I don't kind of like about this figure is the way the feet are sculpted. So he can get his foot down all the way, but with the way the foot is sculpted, he can't really get the foot up much, and so it's actually kind of hard to get him to stand, because his feet actually kind of are at an angle. That's about as much flat as you can get his feet, so he's basically has to always kind of lean forward, and so he does have a tendency at times to fall over, depending on how you're trying to stand him. So I would have liked maybe if he had a little more up movement with the ankle, but it's just the way they've sculpted it. It limits it a little bit. And he's got 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I think Hasbro's done a good job with this figure. I really like the head sculpt on it. I think the size of it is good and fits in well for the most part with the other movie figures, especially with the Hulkbuster coming, which I'm really happy that we're going to be getting in the third wave. So if for no other reason than just to have something for your Hulkbuster to fight, I would say you're probably going to want to pick this one up. But definitely I think this figure is way better than the first Avengers movie Hulk figure, especially the head sculpt. And we're going to be getting the rest of the Avengers. We've got Age of Ultron, Cap, and Iron Man in this wave, and then along with the Hulkbuster that we're going to be getting in the third wave of these Avengers Legends, which is the Build-A-Figure for that wave. Then we're also going to be getting Black Widow, a Bruce Banner to go along with the Hulk, Hawkeye, and then Thor, which will actually be in his Dark World costume. But we're getting those 4 in an Amazon exclusive box set. So basically, other than Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and Vision, we'll be able to round out our core team of Avengers for the Age of Ultron, which will be nice. So this figure, along with the rest of the second wave of Avengers Legends figures, should probably start hitting shelves sometime in March. Each of these reviews, somebody seems to ask when are these going to be released. So I don't have a specific release date, but I believe we'll probably start seeing these in March on shelves here in the United States. Okay, so that's my review. We've still got the Thanos Build-A-Figure to look at, which we'll look at tomorrow, so be sure to check back for that. And as always, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Thanos is coming!